Good morning, Joey on the Caribbean Weather Dude. As you can see, it's very sunny in my house right now. Hit subscribe. Good weather in time for Halloween for British Columbia. It's not going to last too long. Lots of snow coming to the mountains next week. Well, not during the work week so much as closer to the weekend, but we have a warm up in time for Halloween. So we'll talk about the snow stories when we get closer to that date. For now, though, if you look at Western Canada and, well, North America has been sitting in this big air mass of cold air, which we've had in BC. And look at this. As you can see now, we're starting to see temperatures 4 degrees out in the Chilcotin by Vanderhoof area, 3.5 degrees, 3.8. So we're seeing temperatures above zero. That's nice. Oh, yeah, that's nice. We want to see some temperatures above zero because there hasn't been much of that. And we're going to have that in time for Halloween. Let's look why. Here's our 500 millibar animation. So that's weather that's happening, between 16, 20,000 feet, something in that area, maybe higher. So you can see this is where our jet stream is, that big ribbon of windy air that moves across the continent always. And as you can see, that jet stream right now is dipping right down in the United States. So that's why that cold air is reaching down into there. And that's been creating quite a bit of weather stories along there. Quite interesting. Yeah, I mean, the second tornado season is the fall for Americans. So this is that classic setup, cold air coming down from Canada. We got warm air filtering up from the Gulf of Mexico. So we've got some good clash lines going on there. We got possibilities for bad weather all through Ontario, and even Northern Ontario is still getting chances of snow and stuff like that. But we see here, Friday, October 27th, BC was well inside that jet stream still. And we move forward into Saturday. We see that jet stream starting to have this nice big bend. Look at this ridge of high pressure. And there we go. It's moving in. And you can see most of the continent now is in absolute miserable shit. That weather is going right down to Texas, that cold air. Cold for what they think is cold, not for what I think is cold. Maybe not even compared to what we experienced here in Wells this week. But there you go. By Monday, the 30th of October, nice ridge of high pressure sitting right over top of British Columbia. And that's going to bring us, well, they're saying, Weather Network's saying 7 degrees at some points in Wells here. Wells being at 4,000 feet. If we're getting 7 degrees, you can imagine down in Kelowna, they're seeing double digits. That's just kind of a given. So we got some nice weather on tap, but it's not going to last very long. And you can kind of see that here as before the animation. We get into Halloween night, nice time. And as we get closer to November, we see that we're dipping now. I mean, it's kind of a chaotic looking jet stream, but we're getting more of that cold air moving south again on us, and we're getting a parade of storms that'll start moving in off the coast. So here's a look at GFS modeling, and you can see here some of that instability I was talking about down in the United States where that cold air is reaching down, that warm air is coming up, and those two are having some of those clash zones in through there, and that's producing some violent potential today and in the days ahead. You can see that cold air is coming right down into the Dakotas, down to Colorado, much of the western, a lot of half of Washington sitting in it. On Sunday, it's mostly relegated down to the BC mountains as coastal BC starts to experience that warmer air coming in. And we look at that cold air really taking over North America, creating a lot of havoc now along that squall line in through the Mississippi and Ohio valleys. So potential for some severe storms, and BC sitting nice and warm by Monday. Look at those reds there on the map. That's nice. That's what you want to see is the reds. That's looking really good for us in time for Wednesday the 1st. Well, that's when we start to see some of that bullshit coming into the coast, and we start to see possibilities of snow through the mountains and maybe some getting into the interior. So as we go into next weekend, we're going to have weather stories to talk about, and we will talk about them in time. But Halloween forecasts, get out, get trick-or-treating because the weather is going to be really substantially nice. Well, here we are, a look at the map of North America today. You see lots of lows, as always, at this time of year up in the Pacific, and they're spinning around in there and trying to find somewhere to go, and mostly they're getting relegated up to the Gulf of Alaska. By Wednesday the 1st, though, we're going to start seeing rounds of that precipitation moving in. And as you can see, it looks like definitely Rocky Mountains are going to get some. We got rain in the south coast, especially coastal BC. That low sitting in southern BC as we come into the weekend. So I'm sure that's going to feed still some warmer temperatures up this side of it at first, as you can see. But then it's going to be dragging cold air down and behind it too, right? And that's when we see that high pressure starting to build up back over by Saturday. And with any luck, that high pressure will help steer some of the bad weather away. Now this is looking at the 6th of November, so we're kind of a ways off. These things can all change by then. This just gives us more or less a larger picture of what the computer simulations are running based on all the numerical data they have. And I mean, it looks pretty reasonable for this time of year. Yeah, look at that cold air now sitting still in the northern Ontario, eastern prairies, up through northern Quebec, a little bit through Ontario, and we still got those squall lines of storms happening down in the States. So that's what we're going to be watching for our American friends, especially coming into that second week of November, where we could see some real pushback from that southern weather pushing and see that low moving up into Ontario there, strong low. And I'll spare looking at the radar today because there's nothing on it in BC. It's looking really nice. Enjoy your weekend and enjoy Halloween with your kids, and make sure you're prepared for all the children coming around to get their treats and things like that, all the ghosts and goblins and ghouls and Draculas and all this. Have yourself a fantastically warm Halloween. Hit like, hit subscribe if you find any of this helpful. Okay, we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody. That's it for today.